Hello, everyone. Glad to be with you today on this webinar. My name is Pratik Parekh. I'm Senior Vice President of Products at Informatica, responsible for all things integration and Power Center modernization. Today, we will be reviewing. I'll provide you an overview of modernization program at Informatica. Definitely, we'll go into some exciting news of the recently launched product, what we call as Power Center Cloud Edition. I have some exciting customer coming on stage that will be discussing their modernization journey. My colleague, Josh Alpin, will then take us through some of the ecosystem that we have to make you successful. That includes our partners, and they'll be joining us. And finally, we'll do the closing with Q&A. So here are my guest speakers. Very thrilled to have Rudy Diaz, Director of Data Management and Data as a Service from Point32 Health, that will be joining me later in this segment. As I said, Josh Alpin, he runs our cloud migrations program from the field, and he'll talk about the overall ecosystem. And also, I welcome Hemant Vardakar, who is running the data and analytics practice at Wipro. So let's get going. Every customer that I talk to, and in my role, I have the privilege to speak to many customers globally. And almost every customer I talk to have a data transformation initiative that is underway. And no surprise with the statistics that 87% of the customer wants to modernize. That's very true. Generally, modernization is driven by a couple of key business initiatives. For example, digital transformation is one of those under which a lot of different initiatives are coming into play. But other things that we hear is making data access to the line of business, to make business more nimble, more agile, to re-platform the analytics stack as the customers think about modern data patterns and trying to modernize their data architectures, and so on. The customers that we talk to also highlight some of the pain points around modernization, because none of those are straightforward. Modernization is not a simple initiative. Customer lacks the right data platform. They obviously are challenged with the skills and expertise. And finally, there is a lot of cost implication and budget implications that they have to consider as they think about modernization. And almost everyone also echo the same thing, that modernization is a complex initiative. And a lot of times they are not getting the value that they would typically, where they are not getting the value that they went out in the initial assessment of the project. So 74% of the cloud modernization projects seem to be failure, or the CIOs, the VPs of architecture and IT consider those as failures because of either the delayed budgets, delayed programs, or the budget overruns that they are seeing. And from my perspective, there are two big reasons. Sorry for that. From my perspective, there are two big considerations when it comes to modernization. Either a customer is thinking about ripping and replacing. A lot of organizations, and it makes sense when to do it, when the project has clear boundaries, it makes sense to actually rewrite the whole thing. And the other approach, when there is a lot of assets and a lot of investments that has already been made in the legacy platform and the on-premises environment, then people tend to take an easier approach, which is lift and shift. Neither of those approaches are, in my opinion, that straightforward. Lift and shift does not give you the benefits of the cloud scale, the elasticity, the agility that organizations are looking for. And hence we generally lift and shift has, you have to consider a lot of parameters before you embark on that strategy. Separately, rip and replacing, you're looking at a lot of investment to redo what you have already done, what your projects, what the customers' initiatives are already working on-prem, and there are a lot of business value that you're already deriving. So trying to rip and replace everything into a cloud-native platform also takes a lot of time, and a lot of times they will realize that it is not giving the same type of SLAs that on-premises that has been hardened. The processes, the structure, the skills have been all put in place. It's very difficult to actually transition all of that at one shot and do a big bang approach. So neither of those strategies, in my opinion, are working that well. That's why we at Informatica, I am a big believer of pragmatic modernization. And pragmatic modernization, as I'll go into the key tenets of what I mean by that. Number one is, organizations needs to have the end goal in mind. Definitely, you have to think for the future, and you don't want to take a more shortcut approach to just get the next big thing done or next business requirements done, because then you are continuously going through architecture and modernization, as we call it. It's like the never-ending cycle. So you need to have a future state in mind. We at Informatica have put some best practices out around the data architectures, what we call as modern data architecture. And that satisfies a lot of current patterns that organizations are looking for, whether it be data mesh architecture, data fabric architecture, whether you're looking for a data, trying to put this new environment for your data lake and analytics and data science, or for creating the trustworthy data for your AI project. All of those are well addressed with the modern data architecture. That comes to next point in terms of if the architecture is in good shape, what's your next, how do you go about it? Clearly, you need to have the right platform that can support that architecture. And it better be cloud native, cloud first in the current world, because that's where you are able to leverage the compute, the storage, and also providing the elasticity that you're looking for as your business grows. So you would look for a cloud first, cloud native platform. Again, you don't want to assemble all of those components. So a platform is an essential part of this strategy. You want to get something like IDMC, Informatica Data Management Cloud, that provides you a full life cycle of data in one platform. You may want to consider something like that as you embark on the transformation journey. Otherwise, you are again doing a lot of integration work, bringing a lot of loosely coupled components together, and a lot of value is lost in just the integration and the mismatch of impedance that you see from one component over the other component. So clearly, that would be my second tenet of a modernization project. You want to make sure that you can leverage the business assets. As I said earlier, the rip and replace approach will not work, even though the modern data architecture, as well as the cloud native platforms such as IDMC can support you with a full rip and replace. You want to take advantage of all the good work that you have done in the organization over generations. A lot of customers have 10, 15, 20 years of work that has gone in to harden your analytics stack. And you want to take advantage of bringing all of those business logic forward into a cloud native platform. So I feel that is something that is missing generally when people think about modernization. And I would like to emphasize that leveraging proven business assets should be part of the goal as you build out your modernization strategy. The fourth tenet that I again prescribe is, while you have a longer term horizon in mind, you want to show some value in an iterative fashion in the organization. So once your future state architecture is ready, you don't have to build that architecture to begin with, to start with. You can start small and scale while going through the longer journey to ensure that you have the right architecture in place as your business evolves, as you bring new use cases. But again, the key here is showing business value faster and in an iterative manner. So the fourth point would be start small and then scale. Finally, you want to enable, as part of this journey, you want to enable, democratize the data to make your businesses, make all your user community successful with the right governance in place. But at the same time, there's a lot of knowledge already in the organizations that has been using the current products, whether on premises or a separate technology. You want to bring those users and that community along with you. So how do you enable your data consumers? How you can fast track? How can you upskill those developers, those engineers, those users is also equally important. That is one of when we think about Informatica's program, and I'll cover briefly on what we are doing. We try to address all five of these key tenets of modernization. As I said earlier, architect with future state in mind. That would be the modern data architecture that Informatica is prescribing. Again, that's an open architecture. It's not like that it shall be and that should be the architecture, but it gives you a foundation of what the next gen solution would look like. As I said, the IDMC, Informatica Data Management Cloud, provides you a full life cycle of data. Clearly, along with integration, it is very important to make sure the data is trusted. So data quality is critical as part of your data pipeline. Ensuring that you have a right governance framework is very important. Enabling your data consumers and making this data unlocking the locked data, if you will, whether it's on premises or in a cloud applications, and making that available to your data consumers is very important. So how do you democratize that data is critical, and that life cycle is what IDMC supports. From a leverage proven business assets, I'll go one more level on that one in terms of having a right program, making sure that you are able to migrate your current investments over to the new platform. And that would be something that Informatica Migration Program is helping you with. Start small and scale. Clearly, the platform allows you to do so with consumption-based pricing, so that you are using what you want to use for, and so on. And finally, with data consumers, Informatica is making it extremely easy and effective for current Power Center developers or current MDM developers to literally take take the certification courses and be ready for your cloud-first, cloud-native environments. The Power Center Modernization Program, coming to that very specific, because I know thousands of our customers are using Power Center, and this is on top of their mind. They want to take Power Center onto the cloud. A lot of assets out there, and from that perspective, the program that I was referring to has 5 key components. Number one, the IDMC platform that we talked about, the Migration Factory. This is the hardened, proven best practices that Informatica has created, along with the set of tools to automate conversion of your Power Center assets into the cloud. So that would be the Migration Factory that was engineered by Informatica engineers, but now is available to all our partners who are well-trained and certified to take the same blueprint that Informatica has taken to the market for last 3 years, and they are implementing it. So you have enough skills in the organization, in the ecosystem, to actually carry out that modernization program, modernization with the Migration Factory. We have the best-in-class customer success and support with not only the best practices, but also providing the assurance of success with your modernization program. Again, coming back to the point that a lot of modernization programs do have a challenge to ensure that we have a great customer success program that is fine-tuned for such initiatives. You can, of course, leverage Informatica skills, but also from our partners. And as I said earlier, Deloitte will be speaking, Wipro will be speaking next today in this segment, covering some of the details of the program. And finally, this program is finally, this program is supposed to help you transition from on-premise over to cloud. And from that point of view, given that you already are using Informatica products, there are a lot of incentives built in to actually help you transition onto IDMC program from a financial as well as the program perspective. Happy to say that this program has been fairly successful. If you have not yet taken a look at it, I highly recommend to take a look at the program, go through some of the customer stories that we have posted. But number of our customers are already in production with this program. You can see some of the logos here. Over hundreds of customers have already migrated with a very strong ecosystem of partners. Both global SIs as well as boutique SIs are ready to help you drive and help you with your migration initiatives. And yes, as I said earlier, the modern architecture is supposed to give you a lot of benefits, and one such as the performance, the cost, ability to decouple the compute and storage. A lot of the such technical and architectural advantages are something that you can start leveraging as you move a transition over to IDMC. Modernization lifecycle involves the 7 phases, what I covered earlier as migration factory. We do the assessment to begin with. Generally speaking, what this is showing you is if you were to do this on your own, it takes you around 16x more work and effort than what the program tries to help you with. So it is a 16x cost effective going through this program. The conversion is where most of your assets get converted, and that makes up around 65 to 70% of your effort, which we totally automate, 95% automation as part of the conversion phase. So we go through this detailed assessment so you can plan your migration, IP calculators to help you size your environment, automation, 85 to 90% automation to convert your PC assets, and then bringing you the best practices and methodology to further optimize as you take those workloads over to cloud native environment. Now, what we learned over the last 2 years is, while customers were fairly successful, some customers also did express interest in a lot of flexibility, saying that if we have just as a scenario, if we have 50,000 PowerCenter assets in our repository, or we have multiple repositories, multiple projects, how do we take those project by project onto the cloud? So that became really what was there was customers were looking for a lot of flexibility. The other thing that customers asked us to do is, yeah, we get it that Informatica can support us with the migration, and so does your partner, but we have years of investment in our technology in this architecture, and we have skills that can actually do this internally, or our SIs would like to use it on their own rather than Informatica doing it all. And we want those tools available to our customers. To that effect, they were looking for self-service migration tools, and something that we looked at very carefully. And finally, what customers were looking for, and that actually goes with my prescribed approach too, where I said that you want to prove value faster to the business. To that effect, even customers called us out saying that they would like to reduce time to value, and if we can show success faster, there will be more adoption within their organization in terms of more confidence will be built, and that they will like to extend their initiatives further across all their line of businesses and imperatives. So that gave us some food for thought to consider something that our customers wanted, and that brings me to PowerCenter Cloud Edition that we just introduced a couple of months back. Now, what is PowerCenter Cloud Edition? It is a combination of 3 different services in support of the overall modernization program that I covered earlier. Number one, it is a fully backward compatible to PowerCenter. So we brought an engine that connects to our secure agent architecture and provides you a full backward compatible mode of PowerCenter. We call it PowerCenter Cloud Edition because it's actually nothing but joining PowerCenter to our Uber cloud control plane. From that point of view, you don't have to go through any migration of your assets. The workloads will run as is as part of the this compatible mode. What you will see is there is no change. You are not required to make any changes to your SDLC process, your CI/CD processes, and everything will work the way it used to work. Greatly simplifies your acceleration to modernization. The second service is what I talked about, that customers were looking for flexibility, providing them the self-service access to the tool as they modernize some of these assets over onto cloud native platform. To that effect, the PowerCenter Cloud Edition also includes what I call as self-service tools, self-service automation tools, and that helps you with the full life cycle that I covered, the 7 steps process that I covered, from assessment all the way to conversion. And also in the next slide, I would talk about the cloud data validation. Cloud data validation allows you to compare data side by side so that you can confirm that all the things that you were getting from PowerCenter on premises, you are seeing the same results as you move the workloads over to the cloud. This is similar to a data validation option, DVO, that you were using before. Finally, once you are converted, once you have converted your PowerCenter assets, you want to continue to optimize it for cloud native workloads. Informatica provides you the tooling, the analysis, so that you can understand how you can change one pattern to the other pattern. For example, an ETL pattern converted into an ELT pattern, which is very valuable when you're working with cloud data warehouses and cloud data lakes, because that way you can actually contain the processing logic within the hyperscaler of your choice. And by the way, PowerCenter Cloud Edition supports all the hyperscalers that you would typically look into. That includes AWS, Azure, GCP, as well as Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Now, let me explain, try to summarize what I said in a visual way. So that you are able to better comprehend the approach that we are recommending for all our PowerCenter customers. So here is your current state. This is your PowerCenter environment that is running behind your firewall. It has your developer, it has your operational consoles, as well as your repositories that are running behind the firewall. Now, as a first step, you would use the PowerCenter Cloud Edition, that what we are calling a CDI PC in the backward compatible mode, and it takes your PowerCenter assets and joins it into our IDMC cloud, the control plane. And from that point onwards, the control plane is taking full control over your PowerCenter environment, is able to actually patch it, update it, upgrade it as any other cloud native infrastructure would do. So this is your PC compatible mode, and this is your cloud IDMC control mode. A secure agent, if you're familiar with IDMC architecture, a secure agent is now, the whole PowerCenter environment is now turned into a secure agent that communicates directly with the cloud control plane. As a step 2, what happens is now you can start selecting what projects, what folders, what assets you want to start converting to the cloud. And that is if you believe that those assets can be better executed in a cloud native workloads. You have the flexibility, you have the self-service tools to start converting some of those assets over onto cloud, as this visual is showing you. You start building that repository in the cloud. and you start moving all your workloads into the cloud, you can also, if you want to, you can start modernizing and optimizing those integration flows into more cloud native patterns, like what I was talking about, whether it's ETL, whether it's ELT, whether it's reverse ETL. You can start applying some of those pattern changes, pattern recognition and changes that can be directly supported from within the cloud. And finally, we believe, and as your journey continues, and this could be at your own pace, as I'm saying here, this could be year 1, it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be 9 months, or a year, when where you will start moving more and more of your projects into cloud native workloads. And at one point, you can completely decommission this environment that is running behind your firewall. So that would be like how I would characterize what PowerCenter Cloud Edition brings to bear: the flexibility, the agility, the assurance that you can leverage a lot of your assets and help you with your modernization journey. It's a great complementary tool to the overall program that Informatica has been running for last couple of years. So in summary, PowerCenter modernization program has 5 key pieces to it. Cloud native products. We talked about Informatica, cloud data integration for PowerCenter. We talked about Informatica Intelligent Data Management Cloud, all consumption-based platform. Number 2, it has the migration automation that includes the self-service PC to CDI modernization service, assessment, automation tools, testing and validation, CLAIRE-based recommendations, all combined as a self-service cloud-based tooling. Customer success and support to help you with your modernization journey, planning, strategizing, and then eventually driving your successful outcomes for your modernization initiative. Clearly, a lot of help available both from Informatica as well as from our partners on the type of skills that you would need, not only to do this work of establishing PowerCenter Cloud Edition, but also beyond that, when you are looking into optimizing and turning all of these assets into a cloud native assets. And finally, incentives not only from Informatica, but our partners are fully on board to bring you the most value providing services to make your project successful. And with that, I would like to invite Rudy Diaz. Let me introduce Rudy Diaz from Point32 Health. Rudy was one of our premier customer, has been a partner to Informatica for many years, and I'm looking to a fascinating discussion with him today. Welcome, Rudy.
Thank you, Rudy.
Rudy, to begin with, just tell us who Point32 Health is and your role at the company.
Yeah, so Point32 Health is based in the Boston area. So we are actually a combination of 2 health insurance companies, Tufts Health Plan and Howard Pilgrim Healthcare. And we are a payer organization. We are a health payer organization, and we do business pretty much in New England, but primarily based in Boston.
Mm-hmm. And how about your role at the company?
Oh, so my role, so I am in the data management organization. So we have a vertical within the organization called Data Management and Data as a Service. And I'm a director of operational data solutions within that vertical. And we take care of data movement, data ingestion, data extracts, data quality, data support. So it's all built into my organization.
And so you are the data guy, basically.
No. I'm just one of the data guys. There are many. We've got architecture. We've got a separate warehouse team. So no, I partner with my colleagues, but yes, right. I'm a part of it.
Awesome. So you're going through a transformation initiative in the company. Most organizations are going through. What's Point32's direction towards what we call modernization, or others would call transformation of this data platform?
So it's a good question. So I think the company, as they merged, they recognized the need for a dedicated data vertical within the company, and that we thought that was excellent. The focus is going to be providing data as a service to our constituents, to our business entities that consume our data. The goal is to customize data consumption for them based on their need, right? And each department within the company has different needs. So we want to be the source of good data repositories, good data pipelines to their, to their business units. We want to be a source for good analytics within the company. So, we are customizing our solution to be the source of good data pipelines to the business at large. That would be.
Oh, I love that that line. Good data. We strongly believe that there's one thing called data, and then there is good data or trusted data that the organizations can rely on to make informed decisions, to make informed decisions to actually drive the business imperatives.
Yes.
So love what you're doing there. On the data as a service, also there is another term we as Informatica call it data democratization, making data accessible by lines of business, by the consumers of this data. So what type of transformation from an architecture point of, from a data platform standpoint, that you are looking to enable this vision of data as a service?
So, when our heritage organizations merged, most of our assets are on-prem to begin with, right? So we used to, we have legacies, we have some legacy systems. So data gets ingested into on-prem systems. They move within the organization on-prem systems. So we started looking at the cloud. We all think we need to move to cloud solutions. It gives us more flexibility. It gives us more. We can target our solutions better. At least we feel that way. So there's a push to get our warehouses, for example, data warehouses into the cloud, and we are working through that process. We are looking at options to create, potentially data lakes in the cloud so that, we can ingest different kinds of data, and clean it up as we go along to provide better service. So we are looking at all these initiatives. Obviously, some of them are in pretty early stages. Some of them are moving along at a pretty decent pace at this point.
Nice. So when one of my observation talking to many customers like yourself is that modernization is a difficult proposition. A lot of modernization programs don't succeed. And then what I've come to a couple of my observations, two reasons for it. I think one is clearly the resources, the skills, the budgets that are required in the organization to drive a large-scale modernization initiative that involves like ripping and replacing everything. Or then on the other hand, a lot of customers take a shortcut of just doing a lifting and shifting of data. And hence we as Informatica have sort of introduced, or what we call as a pragmatic approach to modernization. Any thoughts on how you are approaching your modernization initiative?
We have not settled on one, but we are exploring. So lift and shift is an option, but I don't think it's the best option, but we don't know. Depending on the solution, I think the solution will dictate the method by which we transform. There is, we would like to build from scratch in some cases. In some cases, it may make sense to lift and shift. In some cases, it might be a hybrid of the two. We are not totally settled on, and you are right, modernization is tough. And I think our goal is to do it in bite-sized pieces. We want to do it in small increments. We are trying to avoid a big bang solution, and it's challenging. So we're trying to be careful.
And I think that is the key. We also recommend that you need to have the vision, the direction, the reference architecture, if you will, in terms of where your end state is going to be. But you have to prove successes in the organization. So what we call a start small and scale and iterate on that, so that you are getting to that successful outcome that you're looking for. From that perspective, let me switch to to Informatica technology that you are using. Obviously, PowerCenter has been serving you well for many, many years.
Yep.
You are one of our larger customers using PowerCenter. And as part of this process, as you are modernizing your data estate from on-premises over to the cloud, I'm assuming, I believe you're looking at our Informatica Data Management Cloud. You are already using it.
Yep.
How are you approaching conversion of this PowerCenter estates over to the cloud?
So we have been a long time customer of PowerCenter, and we like PowerCenter. It has matured, and we have matured with it along the years. So it's been a long time. We have thousands of assets of PowerCenter assets. So, but PowerCenter reached when we wanted to do cloud integration with other applications, we felt there was limitation with PowerCenter. That's when IDMC came into the picture. It used to be called IICS at that time, and we explored it. And it met some of our needs. Although once we got into it, then we said, okay, we have to migrate to IDMC. So we started that journey. It's been, I won't say it's been smooth because migration is challenging. We are working through it. And obviously we have the ups and downs that come with it. We have encountered challenges, and we've been trying to work with you guys with the challenges. We feel that it will solve our cloud-specific problems quickly because it gives us access to the cloud.
Yeah.
But we feel that we still like PowerCenter in many cases because it meets some of our use cases. So we're working through that right now. We are working.
And that's a great segue into, I'm sure you are excited. The reason why we are talking is because you are super excited about our new product release, what we call as PowerCenter Cloud Edition. To that very point, because PowerCenter has been a gold standard in the organizations such as yours for many years, what we have done as a company has brought PowerCenter runtime, if you will, in the cloud, in a cloud native mode. So basically, with the full backward compatibility of PowerCenter, you can bring all your assets over onto the cloud, and we call it PowerCenter Cloud Edition as part of IDMC. And you were the early adopter of it. You were part of our preview program. So any thoughts on how that has gone and what how you and your team have received it?
So thank you for that question. So we were trying to convert everything to IDMC before you introduced this to us. And we were excited because it gave us an opportunity to slow down a little bit. We didn't feel comfortable doing big bang everything over because we have thousands of assets. I think this gives us an opportunity to prioritize what we want to convert to IDMC, those assets that are cloud specific. We like Salesforce is an example. We work with Salesforce. We do not think PowerCenter can take us there. IDMC is a good solution there. However, we have our bread and butter, take data from a source on-prem to a target on-prem. That PowerCenter works great, has been working great. There was no reason for us to rush through the migration and go through the validation process. So this gave us, I think, a best of both worlds, and it positioned us to do things at our own pace without feeling the pressure of time and money to get things done within a certain date. So we welcome that.
Glad you said that. I like that. Best of both worlds is how we see it as well. It gives you a gradual path and gives you the flexibility to time your migration rather than to rush to do the migration or modernization of the existing assets. Wherever you feel there is a value of moving the workloads over from the compatible mode over to native mode, you can do that. Obviously, there are a lot of advantages of the native mode going into IDMC, which is you can use better leverage the ELT capabilities, better handle ingestion capabilities. You can take advantage of now a lot of data is unstructured in the organization, able to process unstructured data, do reverse ETL with your applications, work with all of your cloud applications. So there's so much that IDMC offers, but this allows you to pick and choose how you would actually do it, and better utilization of your resources, better utilization of your budget. That's how we see as that way as well. Rudy, this has been a great Thanks for participating in our program, early access program. Nice to see that you are seeing value of the products and the solutions that we are bringing to market. Any last thoughts on what next for you with Informatica here?
No, I just say that I just echo what you said. So we might not use all the ELT and all use cases now, but it creates a foundation that we can explore other use cases right now, which we're excited about. We are looking into it. Final thoughts. I'll just say I'm glad that you finally decided to integrate a PowerCenter with IDMC, because we thought that was a good move on your part. We certainly welcome it. I think it gives us options. We are looking for whatever IDMC has to offer in the future. I know that product is maturing and you're working on it.
Yeah.
But thank you for allowing us to keep PowerCenter and make PowerCenter a part of this future solution, so that it helps us a lot. It gives us.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Rudy.
Thank
it has
you.
been a pleasure talking to you here today.
It is wonderful talking to you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. This is Josh Alpern from Informatica. My role here is I'm the Vice President for Global Cloud Migrations, and that means that I spend all of my time working with customers and our partners to help Informatica customers who are using our solutions in an on-premise environment modernize to Informatica's intelligent data management cloud platform. I've been here at Informatica for about the last 14 years, but for the last several years, I have focused exclusively on this area of modernizing from on-premise to the cloud. So at Informatica, we've been helping customers to modernize now for a few years, and our partners have always been a very, very important, critical pillar of our success when it comes to modernization. As you can see here on the slide that's in front of you, we have a very, very robust ecosystem for modernization partners. And I want to emphasize that this group of partners that you're looking at is not just a group of partners for Informatica, generally speaking, across a wide range of use cases. Of course, we have lots of partners that do many, many different things with Informatica technology, and the group of partners that do that is extremely, extremely large across the globe. All of the partners that you're looking at here on the screen in front of you are very specifically modernization partners, which means that they have all been enabled on Informatica's modernization solutions and technology. They are committed to our modernization path from on-premise to IDMC, and they work with us day in and day out with our customers to help them modernize from the legacy on-premise solutions that they're using to the Informatica Intelligent Data Management Cloud. Now, one of those partners is Wipro, and Wipro is one of our premier partners for modernization. And as a matter of fact, I can tell you that Wipro is Informatica's preferred modernization partner globally for PowerCenter modernization. And in that regard, I'm very, very happy to welcome Hemant Waradkar, who is the Global Practice Head for Data and Analytics at Wipro. So Hemant, welcome. And given Hemant's role as the Practice Head for Data and Analytics at Wipro, we have a lot in common. And so we have lots that we could potentially talk about, but we're going to have to keep it relatively brief here today. So Hemant, maybe I can just ask you a couple of questions and pick your brain and see what wisdom you have for our audience here today. So Hemant, I know that you work with a lot of joint Informatica and Wipro customers around the globe in your role. Can you give us a little bit of insight to what you're seeing about the challenges that customers are experiencing as they move their enterprises from on-premise to the cloud?
Josh, thank you, Josh, for an introduction, and it is always a pleasure to be part of such discussion forum and this webinar. Right, from a cloud modernization perspective, right, this is definitely a recent phenomena where all the customers are latching onto it. And one of the important aspects that we have realized, having worked with Informatica very closely in many of the customer engagement, right? There are 3 or 4 aspects that every customer needs to look into, right? First is you need to define a strong business case for it from any kind of cloud modernization journey. The business case can be categorized in 2 ways, right? One is the IT centric business cases, typically that deals with a data center decommissioning or optimization of your business operations or business model innovations, or business centric innovations in terms of, how do I increase my customer base? How do I know my customers very well? There is a mergers and acquisition that is taking place, right? These are some of the aspects that every customer needs to start looking into, right, before they embark on this modernization journey, right? It is not as easy as I'm saying it out. Apart from this, data privacy considerations needs to be taken into looked into from a right perspective. Time to implement the TCO, time to market, these are some of the factors that every organization needs to look into from a cloud modernization standpoint. Not to talk about the data management aspect, right? The data integrity aspect. So when you encompass all these aspects, right, this definitely comes as a big challenge to the customer. And Wipro and Informatica has been helping the customers, to maneuver through these challenges.
Great. Really, really interesting. And I know that Wipro has this very unique offering called the DIF framework. Can you give us a little bit of information and insight as to how the DIF framework brings value to our joint Informatica and Wipro customers?
Very interesting question, Josh, right? So with the phenomena of cloud modernization initiative taking place across all the customer base, right? It was very important for us to come up with put some method to the madness, if I would call that, and that is where, right, Wipro had an innovative approach of cloud modernization journey, right, and we created a framework called as data intelligence framework. Now, what is this data intelligence framework? Fundamentally, the aspect of data intelligence framework is based on the IDMC tool stack, right? There is an element of data cataloging, there is an element of data marketplace, there is an element of data quality, and there is an element of privacy. When you put all this together, right, you are creating an art out of a science, and that is what data intelligence framework is all about. It is about data automation framework, right, which enables a digital shift for your organization. If you are embarking on a digital transformation journey or a modernization journey, right, there are a lot of challenges in terms of which data to move first. How do you secure the data? How do you create a privacy consideration of your data? So unless and until you have a right framework, right, you know how to prioritize your data in a very trusted manner, in a very secured manner, right, which is a fundamental aspect of right, any cloud modernization journey. There is no point in picking the data dump from your on-premise and load it to your online application, right? So the same problems that you encountered in your on-premise ecosystem, you are going to carry that same problem to your cloud ecosystem. So how do you mitigate this? And that is where there needs to be an intelligent way to move the data from on-premise to cloud. And that is where Wipro's data intelligence framework comes in very handy, to meet the customer data migration challenges or data modernization challenges, if I have to call that out.
Fantastic. Really, really interesting. I think that's something that's very, very unique to Wipro. How do you see PowerCenter Cloud Edition, which is the latest version of Informatica's modernization solution for PowerCenter, helping to accelerate business value for our joint customers when they're moving from PowerCenter on-premises to the cloud?
I think I have to probably take a step back, right? When we started this cloud modernization initiative with Informatica, right, especially taking a big bang approach of moving the PowerCenter to the IDMC tool stack, I think the customer received it very well, right? And when we analyzed those customer base, we found that these are the customers who had well-defined approach, from a cloud modernization journey, who had well-defined approach for a business value or a business case that they want to, take outcome once they modernize. But there are a certain set of customers who are exploring that what kind of optimization that they need to do in terms of their business process, what kind of data infrastructure that they want to monitor, right? In terms of the data piece that supports these business processes. And I would say, in a nutshell, these are set of customers, right, who are evolving on their modernization journey, right? And when Informatica brings in a PowerCenter Cloud Edition, I think it is an icing on the cake for them, right? So they can still continue experience the PowerCenter world, as well as they can start exploring the new age technologies of IDMC, right? So customers who are evolving on their business case, customers who are evolving on their modernization journey, I think this innovative approach from Informatica with respect to cloud, PowerCenter modernization cloud edition definitely comes in very handy. Second aspect that we have seen is the change management piece, right? When you are embarking on a transformation journey, the change management is one of the most complex aspect, right, that every organization needs to take into consideration, right? And if organizations are not well equipped to look into those aspects, right, then PowerCenter Cloud Edition comes in very handy, right? They can start tuning their organization based on the pace at which, right, their modernization journey gets kicked off. So change management aspect comes in very handy in this part. The third and the most important part is, right, you experience both the worlds, right? You continue leveraging the PowerCenter world, and then you slowly start experiencing the new age architecture, right? Apart from that, presently what we have seen, right, data integration is not the only piece that comes from a data management standpoint, right? There is a cataloging piece, there is a governance piece, there is a quality piece, and also the data marketplace piece. When you get all these aspects in one technology, I think that comes in very handy for every customer, right? So this I would say PowerCenter Cloud Edition is a great innovation from Informatica, and we will see, right, the great acceptance of this in the marketplace.
Great. Thank you so much, Hemant. I know we had to keep it very, very brief, just given the length of the session today, but this was really, really insightful, very, very valuable. And I'm looking forward to not just collaborating with you more in the future, but also doing more of these sessions to help our audience understand our joint modernization story. So thanks again. Okay, everyone, so we're going to have to go ahead and wrap it up. And I'd like to close out with a very quick call to action. You can see on the screen here in front of you that there's a QR code, and that QR code is going to take you to Informatica's PowerCenter modernization landing page. So this is kind of a one-stop shop for everything that you would want to know about PowerCenter modernization. We have customer examples, we have case studies, data sheets, solution briefs, white papers, and so on and so forth. It's really, really chock full of very, very valuable information. So what I would encourage everybody to give that a look, bookmark it, go back to it, many, many times, as often as necessary, to make sure that you're getting the information that you need. And be sure to follow up with us if there's anything that you need to know that you're not finding on that landing page. So with that, on behalf of Informatica and Wipro, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Thank everybody for your time. I know it's not easy with everybody's busy schedules these days. So wherever you are around the globe, have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, or a good day, and we'll see you on the next session. Take care.